Welcome to the ACE Masterclass, a new podcast series featuring ACE 2021 Critique and Awards winners. This digital series will highlight an ACE member or team in a short discussion to explain their strategy, technique, and personality. We hope to use this as a tool to keep members engaged, enlightened, and excited about it. This week's Masterclass teacher hails from the University of Connecticut Extension and is none other than Stacey Stearns. Stearns serves as the Educational Programs Administrator at the University of Connecticut. In 2021, Stearns and her team received the Gold Award for the ACE CNA Awards Marketing 1 category with a budget under $1,000. Today, we will sit down with her, catch up, and learn how she mastered her class. So how are you doing today, Stacy?
Very well. Thank you, Shanae, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you for being the first person willing to participate. I know you have a great story of how your project came together, so I'm excited to hear about it. So let's just jump in. The category you won for was Gold for Marketing 1 with a budget under $1,000, and the project was ACE UCONN Extension. So can you just tell me, what is ACE UCONN Extension?
This is a campaign we started a couple years ago. It's supposed to be a hashtag / social media / website campaign, kind of news story campaign. And basically, we have 3 million people, a little over 3 million people in the state of Connecticut, but the number of people that know about Extension is small, and they don't often realize what we do and the services we provide. So we came up with this campaign in order to help our audiences in the state learn a little bit more about Extension and to answer questions that residents have. So the original intent was that they could use the hashtag and ask the campaign, but ask their question into the campaign. What really ended up happening was that we had a multifaceted approach, built a website where they could submit their questions as well. And then we added a commonly asked question page, because you get certain questions over and over. It's like, okay, obviously everyone's got this one. Let's just put it out on the website, and then we can at least copy and paste if they don't find it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So it is a campaign where our residents in Connecticut and beyond, because we get out of state questions too, ask a question, and it is shuffled over to the correct educator depending on what kind of question it is. And then our commonly asked questions have the question, the answer, and an educator profile so that they learn a little bit about our educator. So the goal is a couple things. A, we get our residents science-based resources. B, they learn a little bit more about Extension. And C, they also connect to our educators, and it raises the profile of our educators statewide so that they can be involved in other projects.
Well, that sounds very clever. It also sounds like it was pretty effective. So just kind of continuing with that, how did you develop a marketing campaign for this project?
So I've worked with the Department of Marketing here at UConn and our School of Business quite a bit, personal friends with the department head, and we'd worked on several projects together, and working with Dr. Robin Coulter over there, have gotten to develop marketing plans for other projects that Extension has. So we kind of took that idea and the work we've done with the Department of Marketing and applied what we learned to this campaign. And then we basically kind of did a backward plan where we set our goals, like we knew what our targets were and how we wanted to measure the effectiveness of this campaign. Basically, it's, questions asked, impact made on people. We're still working on getting the broader impacts of the campaign collected. Are people growing more gardens? Are we getting more water tests done and things like that? But once we knew kind of the basis of the campaign, we set up the marketing plan. That's where the multifaceted approach came in. So we knew we didn't want to just concentrate on social, and we're really glad we didn't, because it ended up being more effective with the website campaign. The YouTube videos are pretty successful as well, but they're also embedded in the website. So we're getting that information out to people in multiple ways, and then changing and pivoting our plan as things worked or didn't work as we thought they would. Hence the hashtag is still used, but only by us.
Cool. And it sounds like you really listened to the audience and what they needed, which I think helped. It always helps in making something successful. How were you able to complete this campaign under $1,000?
We have used a lot of our extension resources that already exist to, so A, we're a small state, and B, like everybody else, our budgets are somewhat limited. So we knew we wanted to do this campaign, and our extension director said, great idea. Do whatever you can. You don't really have a budget other than, your time. You can dedicate some of your staff time to it. So we've worked with our educators, obviously have those answers and getting those. We've got a WordPress contract at our university. So we built the website or pages on the website using WordPress because it was free and available from our university. And then we've got a Canva account, a pro account. So just kind of piecing it all together, and two of our team members on this project. So it's the project that we submitted this year to ACE is myself, Kara Bonzik, our graphic designer for extension, and then two students, undergraduate students, Yvette Lopez, valedictorian of her high school class, and she's a sophomore here at UConn this year, and then Zachary Duda, who graduated in May, two outstanding students who we used their independent study time and work study to get this campaign and have them help curate the content, schedule social media posts, measure analytics. So I am a huge advocate for encouraging and involving the students wherever possible, and it's helped us on many different campaigns, including this one.
Well, and I think that's smart. It kind of works both ways. They get experience and you kind of get assistance with, at a lower cost working with students. So I can definitely see how that can turn out to be successful and just a win on both sides. So thinking of that, what do you think made this project stand out among possibly the other projects that are submitted to ACE CNA, knowing that hundreds of participants, members submit projects? What do you think made your project stand out and win a gold award?
So that's an excellent question. We really appreciate the gold, but I also wondered that, what differentiated ours. But I think one of the great things about the CNA process is we do receive those critiques from the judges. And this project actually had a perfect score, which we were thrilled with. But one of the things that our reviewer noted was how carefully we did plan out our marketing plan. We had that strategy in place before we started, and then how well the analytics had done based on our budget. So we reached 1,090,000 people in 2020.
Wow.
With the number of questions we received because we use that online form for the questions, it makes it really easy to track numbers. And then B, it's a really easy way to pull the questions out, and then the answers that our educators reply, we've got it all right there in email. So it becomes a copy paste into the answers to common questions. So the way we've set it up is it's kind of self-sustaining. And we were also, I guess, strategic about how we set it up and how we decided to reach our people. Now, we did reach that 1,000,000 people. They still all don't know what extension is. So we still have some work to do. There's room for growth there because they just know they got their question answered and they know where to get their water test or how much to water their vegetable garden. They don't necessarily know who told them that, though. It's a work in progress.
Well, I think it's impressive. I mean, 1,000,000 is impressive to know that, we've had that kind of reach doing the work that all of us do as ag communicators. So congrats on the gold award and the reach that you had, and to know that it was pretty much organic reach. It wasn't, paid, which some of us think we have to do, but to know that someone can do something like this organically is inspiring. So I know you kind of mentioned what you learned from the critique, but what do you think is brought to you as far as an ag communicator? What do you think has helped you go back and do better?
I think so. There's several layers to the critique and award process that have really helped me. Our own critiques are very helpful, because sometimes, you'll see something in your comments. We don't always get perfect scores. So, and on some of our other critiques, and actually in this one, because this is the second year we entered Ask UConn Extension, we entered phase 1 of the project last year, and it didn't get a perfect score. So we went back and addressed some of those. And by addressing those things that once the reviewer mentioned them, it's like, oh yeah, that's pretty obvious. Why didn't we think of that? It really improves it. And I think another layer of the process, the CNA award process, that's been really helpful for our team, is seeing the entries of our counterparts and seeing what colleagues at land-grant universities across the country are doing, because that also inspires and informs our work. And you can borrow ideas or say, oh, that's really cool. And it may be on a project that has nothing to do with your project whatsoever, but there's an application to it that can be applied to yours. I know Mississippi State, for example, I get a copy of their magazine. I follow them on social media just to see what they're doing. And, some of what they've done has helped inform our work. UNH Extension is doing an Ask Extension, and they have a Twitter account that's just for their UNH Ask UNH Extension. So we follow that one and kind of see what everybody's doing, and that helps make our work better, whether it's through the CNA process or talking to people throughout the year as ACE members. I think all of that is really, really helpful. And then the rubric for the CNA, again, those scores and the comments you get in each area, if you're getting consistent comments from one area, you might see that is a weakness for your unit, and it's something that to put a little more focus and energy towards. So I like that, because you can look at it holistically. I mean, we're, again, a small unit. I think we had 4 entries last year, and then our Sea Grant team did 3 on their own. So a small unit, but it gives you enough of a look at what you can do to improve and how you can grow.
Great. Well, thank you for sharing all of that. I think all of it's great to hear, because in ACE, we have teams that are large in size, and we have teams that are small in size, but to see that you can just use your resources and you don't have to spend a lot of money, and you can create something great and have such a large reach is inspiring. So thank you for sharing that. And last but not least, like any awards granting organization, we just like to know, who would you like to thank and as far as assisting you with this project? I know usually nothing is done by one person. So is there anyone you'd like to thank or just highlight as assisting with this today?
Well, first, my team that was part of this award with me, Kara Bonzik, our graphic designer here at UConn Extension, Yvette Lopez, our undergraduate student, and Zachary Duda, former undergraduate student, now graduate of the University of Connecticut, were all instrumental to this. And then our extension educators, who all responded to my emails, in-person conversations, phone calls with this crazy idea I had for this campaign, and said yes, and have gone along for the ride and been our content experts, because without their participation, none of this would be possible. And they answer hundreds of questions a year that I siphon off to them.
Cool. Well, thank you once again. And like I said, you just sharing this, I think is going to be great for our membership. But now it's time to have a little fun. As many have seen in the ACE Edge newsletter, we have incorporated a lightning round where we get to know our members just a little bit better, kind of the things you may not know just seeing them at a conference, but possibly having a conversation. And we're going to have a little fun with Stacy today, and we're going to just have a quick conversation and ask her about some of her favorite things. So, you ready, Stacy?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Okay, what's your favorite vacation spot?
Anywhere I can have an adventure. Some of my favorites are Glacier National Park in Montana, Peru, and Patagonia.
Oh, sounds like you get around a little bit. Okay. What's your favorite TV show or movie of all time?
I actually don't watch TV right now, so I guess I'm going to have to go with the childhood standby. I used to be obsessed with International Velvet. It was the sequel to the equestrian movie, National Velvet. A very bad sequel at that, I'll point out, but I watched it a lot.
Okay. What book impacted you the most?
I really enjoyed Orbiting the Giant Hairball by Gordon Mackenzie. I read that during my master's with the University of Florida, and I still go back and reread it.
Okay, cool. Fondest childhood memory.
Riding my horse before the school bus came in the morning. Can't even
That
speak.
is cool. That's something you don't see every day. I
I
kind
would
of
jump off as the bus was like coming up the road, because we have a long road, so you could see it coming, and like jump off and throw the horse at my mom and grab the backpack instead.
Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. What's one thing most people don't know about you?
I guess I'll go back to the first one. I love adventure sports, so whitewater kayaking, endurance riding with horses, and I've climbed a couple mountains.
Yeah, that's something I didn't know. So
The whitewater kayaking I was really bad at, but I stuck with it until I spent more time upright than upside down. So you get there.
okay, that's definitely thrilling. I don't know if I could do that, but sounds cool. What's a motto that you live by?
So Ferris Bueller, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop to look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Oh, good one. And last but not least, 3 words to describe yourself.
This is a work in progress too. I had to do this with Brendan Burchard, a leadership guy, and they're aspirational words: inspiring, calm, and focused. Definitely not there yet, but trying to get there.
Well, they're all right with me. Well, thank you so much, Stacy, for joining us for this month's ACE Masterclass and being the first. So I appreciate you so much. And to our audience, I am Shanae Bradley, Director of Member Services for the ACE Board, and we hope that you enjoyed today's masterclass, and we look forward to you listening to us next month for our next feature. So thank you and have a good day.